What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Evan Ranks, where we got a special one. A couple of episodes ago, asked, I think this is how this relationship got brought back into the mix, but I had asked for a random stranger to hit me up and join me on the podcast. And Austin Carver, you delivered. We were buddies back in the day, and it was a pleasant surprise to get that text. What was sort of your thought process? How'd you find the podcast? I guess let me start that off there.
Uh, Honestly, Evan, I'm a social media guy. I'm a big podcast guy. So I put two and two together, and I've been listening for a little while, and I've been enjoying it. And it's happy to be here, man. Happy to be on and join you tonight. How's this been going for you?
It's been going well. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I don't know what you do, like work wise specifically. I know you're in the insurance industry, but I did insurance before. I still do like sales, and thinking about it, like I'm a big podcast guy myself. So like I listen to Theo Vaughn on the regular. His interview style is like something that I really wanted to do, and I'm super extroverted. So I was like, let's do a podcast. Like this is a good way of sort of blowing off steam after a hectic work week, and sales isn't easy. So this is a nice outlet. That's sort of where it all came about. But it's been a ride, man. I didn't think it would I say take off. I got like 14 people that listen, but you're the first one outside of like the friend group that I've made listen, like actually listen. So I appreciate it, dude. But yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. um,
Not a problem, man. Uh, like I said, I'm a huge podcast guy, so that's what got me on it. But I think you're doing a good job. I think it's been going well so far, just listening wise. So good for you, man.
I appreciate it. What sort of podcast do you usually listen to? Like Theo Vaughn structure or?
Oh man, I'm all over the place with podcasts. So I guess let me just take a look at my Spotify. They're pretty much all on there. Spotify does a great job. Do you have Apple Music or Spotify? Do you have either one of those?
I do not. I sadly own an Android, so I don't have any Apple products
You
at
could
all.
you could you could download Spotify anyway. Spotify is the superior app.
Yeah,
It's the
that's what I
better
do have.
music. Yeah. So I have Spotify. I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast, like you said. I listen to Pardon My Take.
All right, that's a
Um,
good one.
I listen to Late Kick, which is a college football podcast by this guy named Josh Pate, which is pretty good. He does it year round. A lot of people listen to it year round. I really only listen to it during football season. And I listen to Green Light, which is a podcast by Chris Long.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, we
yeah,
play him in softball, like in Charlottesville.
you ever listen to his podcast? He
I've
uh, he
listened to
talks
bits and pieces.
he talks about the softball league a lot. He does.
Yeah, he mentioned we're B&B Electric. So like when he mentioned all the electricians that like beat him, only one
Yeah.
of our team, only one of the team members on the team is an electrician. But we're all just ex baseball players wanting to have fun. But yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good range of podcast like topic people too.
Yeah, I just get bored during the day. I'll pretty much listen to any and everything. So yeah, I'm just
Would you
big
listen to a
podcast guy.
podcast? Would you listen to a podcast before like music? I guess.
Depends on my mood. Depends on what I'm doing, what's going on. It just depends on my mood, really. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So like work day. My dog's going doing something over there. Work day. I'm definitely listening to a podcast. When I'm walking, so I walk to and from work. Thankfully, I don't have to drive. When I'm walking
Dang.
to and from work, it's a podcast. When I'm walking my dog, it's a podcast. Um, so like, yeah, it just depends on my mood. Like, yeah, usually it's a podcast, but if I'm like working out, getting ready to go somewhere or something like that, I'll listen to music. But like, yeah, podcast usually dominates most of my day.
I got you. That's super ironic because, like, low key, I remember from like high school, you were the guy that knew like every lyric to every song. So, like, no
Yeah.
matter what genre of music. So, I was sitting here thinking, like, all right, my man's probably listened to like Frank Sinatra some days and then like, I don't know, the Kid Leroy another day and knowing every single lyric.
Yeah, yeah. I used to pride myself on that. I kind of like that. I did know like a lot of music. But at that point, like once I got to a certain point, I pretty much got I just didn't like, and music didn't do it for me at like a lot of times. So podcasts came in, and I just started listening to a boatload of podcasts and things like that. So
You get that like
thank God for
music
those.
fatigue.
What's up? Music
It's like
fatigue?
the
Yeah,
music fatigue. Like there's
yeah,
only I go through songs periodically, so it's like the top like 5 or 6 songs that I like. I listen to nonstop for like 4 or 5 days, and then I can't listen to any music anymore.
yeah. And like my brother-in-law used to tell me he used to listen to audiobooks because like he just got tired of listening to the same songs over and over again. And I used to think that was the craziest thing for him to say that, but I understand now. Like his audiobooks are my podcast, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to shit on podcasts, and now I like have a podcast. So full circle right there. So, what are you doing for work, like insurance wise?
So I work in commercial insurance. I'm a broker in
Okay,
Charlotte. I did the same thing in DC for a couple years. Decided DC wasn't really where I could see myself long term, so uh, brought myself down to Charlotte. I have a bunch of friends down here, a little closer to where I went to school.
right.
Yeah, that's just where I am right now. It's a pretty good industry. It's stable. It grows pretty consistently, and I don't have to sell personally myself. So I'm an account manager, so I'm not really selling anything. I have a producer who does most of the selling, and once he gets the accounts and stuff, I manage the accounts, and
Okay.
yeah,
So,
that's
like,
how it goes from that front.
I did the sales of insurance, but like, I also know people within Farm Bureau and have interviewed with Farm Bureau before. So it was like you can apply to be an agent, in which that's exactly how it's explained. So like, are you? Is it like an independent agency, or do you work for like one of those big name like Farm Bureau or State Farm type of things?
Uh, it's a little bit different than that, just because I like. So most of those like Farm Bureau and State Farm, they're primarily focused in retail insurance, and when I say retail, I mean like residential insurance, like that, like
Right.
you as a person would have like home insurance, auto insurance,
Yeah,
things like
life.
that. Yeah, life and stuff. We're focused on commercial insurance for medium to large size businesses. So we do like property and liability, but also like cyber and management liability and things like that. So it it shifts from like a personal size to where like State Farm and Farm Bureau and places like that do to where we do this like middle to large size corporations.
I got
Um,
you.
yeah, so we're not really touching the retail side where it's personal lines and things like that. It's all
And
commercial
you're
insurance.
liking it.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. Like I said, it's stable. No matter what the economy is, like any business is going to need insurance. You can't. That's not
That's
something you can
facts.
really pass up on. So,
That's
and
true. So, would you major in college?
so I majored in finance and risk management insurance. So I double majored. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was
All right.
it was one of my majors. Yeah,
Big brain
thankfully.
guy over here.
No. So I wanted to major in finance, but I realized that in South Carolina, if you were from the state of Virginia and majored in risk management insurance, you could get in-state tuition. And that was honestly the only reason I was able to go there is because I got that in-state tuition discount for the
Wow.
major. Yeah. So
That's a
uh,
did you know that going into college that like you could do that?
I did not. No, I got in. I got in, and I realized once I got in and saw like when you get into college and like you get like the paperwork and stuff, and they're like, "This is how much it's going to cost." So I got
Yup.
that paperwork, and they're like, "This is how much it's going to cost," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was looking at it, and I figured out that wasn't going to work. So I started to like look into like research things and find out any way I could possibly go to school there and be able to afford it. And that was one of the things is like if if uh if this school offers a major that no school in the state of Virginia offers, then
Hmm.
you can get in-state tuition at that school. And risk management and insurance was one of those. So I did that while also majoring in finance. So I got the major that I wanted while also doing the major that made it affordable for me to go there, and I got it. I able
Yeah,
to go to school there. Yeah, But I ended up using the one that I didn't even think I was going to use to get a job. So
That's funny.
yeah,
I mean, hey, that happens. Like
yeah,
I didn't know I was going to go into sales. I majored in communications, and then just was. You see, like I saw State Farm, and I was like, that sounds like a big, credible company. Let me apply there. So
it is a
I know
big
how that
credible
works.
company.
So
It,
University of South Carolina, dude. My brother and I, you know Dylan, I think, or at least know of, but
no,
our
I know Dylan.
brother-in-law played football at South Carolina. So like we kind of root for South Carolina here and there. What was that experience kind of like?
Uh, it was great, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was awesome. The football was a huge part of it. Um, the school kind of shuts down on game days, and like the school week after a win, uh, it seemed like professors always would start off the class with a, I don't know, like how about them Gamecocks or something like that after a football game, because it was really a big thing there and it was awesome. It was fun to be around. Um,
The culture's just different compared to like me going to a D3 university that barely had a football team. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it was just it was big, man. I mean, yeah, football was just a big deal. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Did you rush when you went there?
I did. Yeah, I rushed my first semester right away. Yeah,
Okay.
um, it was it was an experience for sure. It was fun. I'm glad I rushed my first semester. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
been able
I have
to
a go
go
for it.
ahead.
But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, been able to meet like I always felt like I missed out rushing because like those guys always like people always make the joke of like, all right, you're paying for your friends. Like, okay, yeah, there is sort of that like stressed upon like, hey, you guys should get along, but like there's always that key like group of guys you do meet that you hit it off with that are like friends for life. Is that kind of your experience with it too?
No doubt, no doubt. So yes, I guess I did pay for my friends or whatever. But
Yeah, in a
I
way. In
I
a
get
way.
I get the joke. Yes, because yeah, I did, and yeah, I heard that too. But yeah, I guess I did kind of pay for my friends, but um, paying for
I
those
don't say
friends
that
also.
seriously, just so you know.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, I've heard that before. But yeah, like
All right, fair enough.
paying for those friends, it also paid for a lot of things that we were doing outside of school, or not outside of school, but like during the week and stuff. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
it was paying for like our fun and things we would do together and stuff. Yeah, yeah. I think it did suck paying that money, but it was a good experience. I definitely have made a lot of friends, and I have like a core group of like 5 to 10 friends that I talk to every single day from that group of
Mm-hmm.
people, still to this day, and uh, they're they're like my best friends now. So yeah, like it was a great experience. A lot of memorable times, a lot of regrettable times, but it was fun, man. It was fun, and
I got you.
it
Uh,
makes it makes a huge university like some schools seem a lot smaller. It helps a
mhm.
lot with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I feel like sometimes I missed out, but like more or less also like the opportunity that comes with it, like the it's basically a in-person LinkedIn essentially, like a more powerful version of that. Like you can get connections right off the bat. Like I know there's a handful of opportunities in which like a lot of employers will say, "Oh, like you were a part of this organization. Like I know those morals and values. Like I would consider hiring you above, someone else who might not display those characters." But
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's more or less a starting point or a talking point. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't go as far to say that it's like a end all be all. So like, yeah, it's a good thing to have a conversation about, but like, I don't think
it doesn't make or break anything.
it doesn't make or break anything. Yeah, and for to go back to like what you said, like you missed out or anything. I don't think you really missed out on anything because like I just think it's either one into the other. Like you had this experience, you had that experience. I think they're both pretty good. I mean, I knew people that weren't in Greek, like in South Carolina, that had probably better times than I did. So I don't think it's really missing
It's
out on
true.
anything. It's just like picking one path or the other. I don't really think any side is greener than the other one. Like everybody says, grass is greener on the other side, but I think college is just a good experience to begin with. So I don't,
Yeah,
I don't really
I
think,
agree.
yeah. Yeah, I don't really think it's missing out on anything on either side. I think it's just whatever you choose to do is whatever you choose to do. I don't think missing out on anything.
There you go. I'm here for it. So are any of those dudes still at like, because you're living kind of close to South Carolina, I guess? Like what, Columbia?
Yeah, no, I live in Charlotte. I live in Charlotte,
Charlotte.
which is
Okay.
yeah, I live in Charlotte, which is about an hour and a half from Columbia. There's probably
Okay.
about
I mean,
15
like
or
weekend
yeah,
fun if you need to hang out with somebody.
yeah. This year I just moved here like 4 months ago, but I just bought season tickets for football season this year because we're about an hour and a half away, and they have a they have a young alumni student discount, so it's economically feasible for me to buy season tickets because the season tickets are cheaper if I was go to just buy those rather than to buy tickets to the singular games I go to because sometimes
Yeah.
depending on the game they get kind of pricey. So
Yeah, I can imagine that South Carolina Clemson matchup's pretty expensive if you don't get a deal on it.
yeah, man. So
Or
my
any
buddy
SEC school.
or any SEC school, yeah. So I didn't have season tickets last year when I moved down here, and my buddy had season tickets, and I think his average cost of ticket was like $50 or something. Um, and he wasn't able to go to the Clemson game, and I think he sold it to me for like $100 or something. But like he cut me a deal. They were going for like $200. But anyway, he made like $50 average on that ticket just from being a season
Yeah.
ticket holder. Shout out to Tom. Thank you, man. I appreciate you giving me the homie discount. But
Hey,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. So it's just more reasonable to just buy the season ticket and like however many games you go to, you're getting a better deal than so.
I
Yeah,
can
but I'm
imagine.
excited for that. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm used to paying for UVA tickets individually because they're like $7, but it's also a different caliber football program, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but like, there's also those kind of games at South Carolina too. It's just like obviously like, those aren't the ones I want to go to. It's like the ones I want to go to are going to be more expensive, and I get a better deal on those by buying the season tickets and being able to go to every game.
Fair enough, man. Fair
We're
enough.
we're we're not very good at football either. South Carolina's
Well,
not
that's
very
because Spencer
good.
Rattler might be the worst quarterback in NCAA history, in
I
my
won't
opinion.
stand. I won't stand for that. I won't stand
I
for
don't
that.
think he's elite status. He's not Joe Flacco status.
If he didn't play at South Carolina these past 2 years, we probably would have won maybe 2 or 3 games.
Oh yeah, he would have
So
been a bum.
no, I'm saying he led us to very many wins, very many wins.
Okay, all right. I guess that's fair. I thought you were saying he would have won like 2 games outside of South Carolina. I was like, yeah,
No,
that's
no, no,
facts
no,
right
no,
there.
no, 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 no. He led us to very many wins. He was the reason for my greatest like experience at a South Carolina football game in history. So, yeah,
Really?
I'm a Spencer Rattler fan, and I will be that until the day he retires. And most
All
South
right.
Carolina fans will agree. So,
Okay, that was my
yeah,
next question. I was going to say, is that like a unanimous? We all stand with Spencer Rattler.
we
All
stand
right.
for Spencer Rattler. We stand for Spencer
What's
Rattler.
that greatest? What's the greatest football experience? I need to hear that one.
So, um, so last year we played Tennessee. I think it was week 11 or 12. I think it was week 11. It was the week before the last week of the season, so the penultimate week or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
They were number 5 in the country. They had Hendon Hooker. We were I think 24 and a half point dogs, and my mom bought me a ticket for Christmas because it was the week before Thanksgiving. She bought me a ticket to the game. I was about 10 rows up, 50-yard line, sitting by myself. So like the ticket was pretty cheap because obviously nobody wants to buy a singular ticket, right? Right?
Fair
You know what I
enough.
mean?
I
So
guess so.
I got a
Yeah, that
pretty
makes
I got
sense.
a pretty I got a pretty cheap seat and I was sitting by myself. Tennessee was the number 5 team in the country, and we were 24 and a half point dogs, like I said. And Spencer Rattler comes out and throws 6 touchdowns, and we beat the Vols 63-38. And I stormed the field, and that was yeah. And I got a bunch of knickknacks from the field, and I still got them to this day. And it was just an awesome time. And then the week after, we beat number 9 Clemson at Clemson, So we knocked two playoff teams out the playoffs back to back weeks to end the season. So number 5 Tennessee, number 9 Clemson, back to back,
I
two
think I do remember
wins.
that.
Yeah, yeah, it was a big story, and it was just a good time, man. It was awesome. It was awesome to see because we were 6-4. We were 6-4 at the time going into the Tennessee game. So obviously we expected to lose both of those games and go 6-6. But we ended up winning them and going 8-4 and going to a good bowl game. I think it was Tax Slayer Bowl or Gator Bowl, whatever you call it now, playing Notre Dame, and uh, we lost to them. We lost to them, but we put up a good fight. We had a lot of opt outs, so did they. But it was a good game and it was fun to see. But that year went from almost a disaster to a pretty damn good season for us. So it was good.
There you go. That's just Beamer ball, isn't it?
It's just Beamer ball. As much as I hate to say it, I love to say it now. But
In the heat of the moment, it wasn't a big. I don't know what the word is. You weren't a big fan of it, I guess.
no,
I don't really
I
even know
liked
what.
it.
I was gonna
What?
say I don't even really know what Beamer ball is. Is it essentially just him taking his dad's game at Tech?
No, it's special teams. Special teams. Big special teams guy.
Okay, that's what it is. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
touche, I guess.
Which like so yeah, so Frank had like great special teams at Virginia Tech. And I never really noticed it except in Virginia games when they played Virginia Tech, and yeah, they had some good special teams calls. But these three, I think it's been three, maybe four, maybe two, 3, 4 years when it's definitely been more than two, 3 or 4 years when Shane's been here at South Carolina. You definitely
Hmm.
feel Beamer ball when you notice it, man. He like the special teams is a big emphasis, and that won us a lot of football games, crazily. But yeah,
That's pretty
special
cool.
teams
I mean,
won.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when we played basketball in high school, like the only reason I think I made the team was for defense. So I guess you could say I should be a special teams fan too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You
I,
could
I
be
like
D.
the weird parts of the sport.
You could be D1 special teams.
Could I mean I don't know. I figured you could have been a little D1 basketball. Well,
Yeah,
or
right.
D3.
Maybe
You're a pretty
D3.
good basketball player.
I lost my hops, man. I don't got any more hops anymore.
Is that what it was?
That might have been
Did you
it. I
play
don't know.
intramurals?
I did, yeah, I did, and I got way too competitive sometimes,
Oh, I
but it
was
was
definitely
fun.
a culprit of that. No, I had to refrain from getting too invested in it by being a referee. So like I ref dodgeball for 3.5 years. But I played basketball my senior year and I took it way too seriously for someone that sucks at basketball.
I repped intramural softball for a semester, then I quit. But it was a good
Yeah, I mean
time.
you probably get I got paid like $7 a game and it was definitely not worth it.
Yeah, and yeah, same here. But it was still a good time. I just quit because like I didn't feel like doing it anymore. So yeah, I just left.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Heck yeah. So you mentioned the dog. What's the dog's name? Because I enjoy the Snapchat videos or pictures when you post them up. I'm like, look how cute that dog is.
You like those? Her name is Luna. I've had her since she was 12 weeks old. I got her my the summer after freshman year of college, and she's been with me ever since. My parents were super mad at me because they told me no, and I went and got her anyway. Um, come here,
Dang.
buddy.
So she
Please
went to
come here.
college.
Yeah, yeah. She was a college dog for sure. Come here, buddy.
Well educated pup. That's awesome.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
Oh,
grab
we're
her real
getting we're
quick.
getting the guest on there.
Oh, come here,
Dang, you
buddy.
said since 12 weeks.
Since 12 weeks. Oh. She's a heavy girl, as you see. Oh,
She
but no,
part she part pit,
she's full pit. She's a
full pit. There you
purebred.
go,
Yeah,
dude. I love her colors though.
yeah, she's very pretty, and as you can see,
Hey,
she's
Luna.
very chill.
Heck yeah. How far do you have to go on walks with her?
uh, so we go on about four. Go ahead, buddy. We go on about 4 walks a day. Uh,
A day?
each, yeah,
Holy
yeah,
cow.
yeah. So I take her on one walk in the morning before I go to work, which is about a mile. I come home during lunch, take her on a short walk, which is probably about half a mile. The longest one is after work. Sorry, I'm out of breath picking her up. She seems kind of small, but she's about 70. She's about 70 pounds. So
Dang.
she's a stocky little girl. So yeah, the
That's why
first
she
walk
needs
in
all those walks.
exactly. Because if not, she'll get pretty big.
Yeah, she probably. I mean,
But
she probably needs to exercise too. Like, are you in the city, or do you have sort of a little bit ruralness in where you're at?
Nah, man, I'm right in the city, man. Like I have a nice balcony where she can hang out and sit on the balcony and get some sunshine during the day. But she definitely needs the walks. I mean
I
she's
got
about
you.
she's about 6 now, so like she's pretty mature. She's not super crazy, but part of that is because I take her on so many walks and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, so
I
I
got you.
like
So it's literally you and her versus the world, essentially. Like you guys, just you and her living over there. Your parents still live here in Charlottesville, Virginia.
yep. Yeah, man, it's me and her versus the world, and then it's honestly been great, man. It's definitely been stressful. Not stressful at times, but it's a lot at times because like I have things I want to do and like I have to like it's like she's literally like a child. I have to like as
Yep.
anybody that has a dog knows, I have to find a place for my dog to go if I want to go anywhere or if I want to do anything. I have to make sure my dog's fine. But it's usually a good thing because like I'm naturally like a pretty lazy guy by nature, and she helps me stay out of that. So
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say that just based on you like explaining your kind of day to day, it sounds like you have a pretty good structure of like day to day life though. Like get up, walk her, go to work. Like you walk to work too. I mean,
Yeah, man, my
definitely
day's
getting.
pretty. Yeah, my day's pretty structured. It's pretty boring, honestly, but I like it that way. It keeps it predictable. Um, I try to keep my like work days and stuff structured, so like when I want to go do something like out of structure, it's not that big of a deal because I have everything else done. You
Right.
know what I mean?
I got
Yeah.
you.
And when I
So
say
what
having it,
is
yeah,
I was gonna
what?
say, what is it that you would do for fun then outside of work?
There's a ton of breweries around here, man. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of friends around here, so I just we go to a brewery or sometimes we go play basketball. A lot of my friends play golf. I just started learning how to play golf, so I'm picking that up gradually. But they play a ton of golf, so I'm hoping to hop into the fray eventually one day.
Yeah, dude.
Once I get my stroke down. Do you play golf?
That's all right. Yeah, I've been golfing for the past year now. I kind of got invested working at the radio station. We do a lot of like sponsorships with golf tournaments, or like we'll help promote it and we'll get a team for it. So like I get that opportunity. But yeah, me and my boys might go golfing on Sunday. I am atrocious at golf, but it's been something that's super fun. So
It's fun though, man. It's a good time. It's relaxing. It's just a good
I get
game.
a little
It's
I
just a
get a
good
little
game.
too competitive, even though I'm bad at it. But
Yeah, that's my issue. I like because yeah, like you said, you just get too competitive and like speaking for myself, I'm garbage. I'm so bad. Like I can't compete with some of the guys. Some of these guys are very good at golf, and I'm like, this sucks. But
yeah,
you
one
just
of
have
my
to like,
buddies played D3 golf, so there's no shot at winning. It's just a competition of who can be better than the worst guy. But
yeah, I hear you.
heck yeah, dude. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and we're gonna close it out with stranger of the day. Do you have any strangers of the day?
Stranger of the day. So anybody?
Yeah, that could be anybody. It could be positive, it could be negative. You could use something earlier from this week, but the idea behind stranger of the day is to find someone that positively influenced your day, kind of without trying, essentially.
So I'm a big I'm a big sticker guy, and
Okay.
there's this convenience store that I go to pretty much every day, and the cashier gave me 2 stickers today. It's called Rhino Market.
Heck yeah, dude.
Made my day, dude. I love stickers. Just gave me 2 random stickers. Yeah.
That's a
So
great one. That's a good
straight
stranger of the day right there.
stranger of the day, my man at the gas station. He also criticized me for wanting a bag. He didn't even give me a bag, but he gave me stickers. So
Okay.
um, yeah,
But you
the guy,
wanted the
but
bag and he criticized you.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't give it to me because the guy before me was like, "Do you need a bag?" And the guy before me was like, "No, I don't need a bag." And he was like, "Good for you, man. You're the first person to not need a bag." And I was waiting in line behind him. I heard it, and I was like, "Great," because I need a bag. And he was like, "What about you, man? Do you need a bag?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he was like, "Oh fuck," didn't give me a bag. Um, yeah,
So
but
he
he
gets a half positive stranger of the day, half negative.
half stranger of the day, half stranger of the day, half not great stranger of the day. He was definitely a stranger of the day, though. He definitely made some marks.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate you getting on the podcast, not alone listening to it. Like, I always thought when I did it, it would come off as annoying for people that didn't know me any or like hadn't connected with me recently. So I appreciate you bearing through me sometimes stumbling through 22 minutes of ranking random shit.
No problem, man. Yeah, I've actually enjoyed it a lot. I'm sorry if I've been looking off to the side. I'm watching some hoops on my TV, so I was listening, but I was watching some hoops.
No, you're good, man. UVA's about to go off. I know that South Carolina's playing right now. They're kind of on the bubble.
Oh, we're not on the bubble, dog. We're the
Yeah,
number
no, that's a
18
good
team in the
program.
country. No, we're not a
Are they
good.
beating A&M?
We're up by two. We're not a good
All
program at
right.
all. It's just a good year. We're
All right.
just
Well,
having a good
hey,
year.
a couple years ago, y'all got to the Final Four.
Hey, let's. Yeah, that was 7 years ago. That's what made me go to South Carolina. So I took a visit down there one time, and it was the weekend that we were in the Final Four, and obviously it was a madhouse down there. So
Dang.
yeah, if they didn't,
What are
and
the odds?
luckily for me, I applied early admission, and I got my acceptance letter before they went to the Final Four. Because if I would have applied after I went to the Final Four, my grades weren't good enough. I wouldn't have gotten in. So thank God for early
Dang.
admission. Yeah.
Cheers to that, dude. Well, again, thank you for coming on. Next time, I'll have you come on and we can actually rank something. But I figured this would be a cool way of reconnecting with you while also kind of introducing you to the wanker community for the next time we rank something.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, man. One question for you, bro.
All
Uh,
right.
let's hear your stranger of the day.
Oof, you're putting me on the spot. I was trying to think of one before I even got on here because I was like, if he doesn't think of one, I need to have one. Um,
I know you got lucky, my Rhino Market guy,
yeah,
jackass.
that would. Well, that's a good one too. So I'm coming at you with like a rough stranger of the day because I work from home part of the time. So like, part of me when I do the stranger of the day, and I've talked about it before, I'm like, I don't want to just like plug and fill people I talk to through work. So I'm like, shoot, I didn't go out today. What did I do the other day?
I got another
There's
question.
a
I got another question for you after you answer this one too, if you don't mind.
All right. I got you. I got you. So my stranger of the day goes to yesterday. I didn't leave, so I'd have an hour drive to work. That means I have an hour drive home, of course. But there was a wreck on 64, and it was already a long day. It's pouring down rain, and I last minute couldn't get over. And this lovely gentleman in his, I don't know what kind of car it was, but he let me over. So that's a positive stranger of the day. Something that a lot of people just skip over. They say, "Nah,
Hey,
man, I'm trying to get home too."
I hear you, man. That's honestly huge, dude. People don't realize how little things like that are big, but I hear you. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That or holding the door. Both of those.
Ah, no. I think letting somebody over is better than holding the door. Holding the door
I
is
mean, all
nice,
right,
but
that's fair.
sometimes holding the door, uh, it's a very fine line because if you hold it too long, then they're rushing to get to the door. You know what I
That's
mean.
true. Then it's an inconvenience.
You know what I mean. Yeah.
That's a
It
good point right there.
yeah. Letting somebody over, that's always great. But yeah, holding the door for somebody always has good intentions, but sometimes it gets a little awkward. But all right, the other question I had, the other question. Um,
All right, here we go.
where do you still live in Charlotte? Do you still live like? Are you in Earlysville? Where are you at? What part
I
of
live
town do
in
you live in?
Harrisonburg now, so I live with my fiance
Wow.
in Bridgewater, Virginia.
Okay. All right.
So
Do you,
there's nothing but in Bridgewater. There's nothing but like Mennonites and cow fields.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I
Harrisonburg's
know,
JMU. So
yeah, yeah. So do you get to Charlottesville much at all?
yeah, I go to Charlottesville a lot. Like I still work in Charlottesville, so I work at the local Charlottesville radio station, and
That's right.
I
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
typically
Um,
drive over there 2 to 3 times a week. Depends on meetings. Like one of our radio stations hits the valley, so like I can do work on this side of the mountain, which means I like just drive around to different businesses, come
so
home,
you're the
take
so
notes.
you're the so you're there regularly though, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Regularly. I
every
can't
single
speak.
Tuesday, I'm in Charlottesville.
Gotcha. So from when we were in school or stuff like that, what do you think has changed the most from when those days, from I guess 2017 era until now? What's the most different part about the Ville? What's the most different part?
Dang. That's a unique question. I feel like the jobs that I've had really have changed my perspective of Charlottesville, just of how big it really is. Because, like, in sales, you're connecting with so many different people, like, and especially this job with the radio station, it's individual businesses. So, like, I'm going to a business here, business there. This isn't even like the community, but like just from 2017 to now, how big it's really grown. Like seeing Crozet get built up. I mean, Waynesboro now. I know that's not Charlottesville, but like that's just an
It's
attest to
in
like
the area. Yeah.
how big
Yep.
Charlottesville is getting itself. Like everywhere is expanding in here, and like I worded this the other day because my fiance's brother lives in Raleigh, and when we visited down there, I was like, this place is huge. It's like Charlottesville is literally becoming a smaller version of Raleigh or attempting to become that.
Yeah, I agree, which is unfortunate. I don't. I would not. I would like it to stay as it was, but that's just my opinion. So, but yeah, I hear you.
100%.
Good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's why I like to growing up in Earlysville. I've always said if I can't pee outside of my house, I don't want to live there. So,
Agreed. Agreed. That's
well,
facts.
I
Agreed.
appreciate it again, man. We're definitely gonna have you back on the podcast if you're open to it. But I'm gonna let you do the see you in the next one if you're down for it.
I'm with it. Yep, I'm down for it. I will be on whenever you want me.
All
I don't
right,
got
hell yeah.
plans, man. I'll be on whenever. I'm a simple guy. I don't got much going on.
There we go.
Uh
I appreciate it.
oh. Somebody's mad. She said probably not. I don't know.
All right, that's fine. She's saying, "All right, Dad, show me some attention here."
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
All right,
man. I
everybody. We
appreciate it.
will appreciate you. We will see you all in the next one.